Let's go. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Bryant Ferate podcast. Today is a recap of my April, which was a huge month. I've been doing these inspired by Noah Cracknell, but they are kind of like an investor report. So it's just a monthly recap of what I did this month, and then what am I building or looking forward to going into May, which is nuts. We're already in the fifth month of 2024. Time's flying by, but we're making the most of it. We're making the most of it. So, um, first and foremost, checked off the bucket list is we ran the Eugene Marathon. So a full squad of us drove down to Eugene this past weekend, at the end of April, April 28th, and we got ready to roll. We threw down. A bunch of people ran their first marathon. The other KPIs that I had for the month were I ran 152.1 miles. We had 4 Cosube burritos, which also I dropped a pod with the owner of Cosube. Total steps was 539,000, which is about 315 miles. In April, my resting heart rate is 50. We still got to work on that. I actually stopped wearing my Oura ring for a little bit, but we're charged up and ready to go. And then I had 2 articles. We had 3 podcasts drop. I traveled to Maui for my mom's retirement. And then, like I said before, we went to Eugene with my dogs, and we got after it in the Eugene Marathon. And then the sleeper draft pick, shout out to Isaac Homer, the new habit that I added, not necessarily a KPI, but just walk and talks. So just walking, getting moving, and talking about life without your cell phone. So let's get in this first thing. Eugene Marathon with the boys. So I signed up January 1st, and we started running as a group, and then slow and steady, a bunch of people started signing up. So we got the entire friend group, the entire squad to sign up to run the Eugene Marathon. We were hitting long runs, and honestly, one of my favorite parts wasn't just running the marathon. It's just getting everybody together. Like whether we're running during the week, hitting a waterfront 6, or we hit a long run on the weekend and we get up into Forest Park. It was just always having the group together, and it was just another like excuse, another reason to hang out and get fit. And honestly, the race went incredible. I ran a 3:10:53, which was honestly outside of my comfort zone. I did not think that number was not even in my mind. Like I didn't even think I could do that, which is crazy. My goal was 3:18. My previous PR was 3:24 back in 2019, and honestly, I thought 3:18, 3:16 would be doable. But Drew Boyd was ripping. We ran most of it together, and I dropped the 3:10:53. But yeah, that's incredible. But I would say honestly, my favorite part was just seeing all my friends. So we had a huge squad. Cam Richmond and Daniel Lopez ran the half, and then Chris Reeves, Ben Shab. We had Rory, Cherry, Drew, me, our buddy Wes, and then Dirk and Connor. We all ran the marathon, so it was incredible. And we even had Sky and Tom, and the squad came out as our crew to help us out and cheer us on. So it was elite. Even Caroline and Chris ran the half, so it was cool to connect with them and see them. Yeah, it was just an incredible weekend. And like I said, the best part was honestly just seeing everybody get out of their comfort zone. And we were doing things that we almost didn't even think were possible together. So it was sweet just seeing my friends go into uncharted waters, like never run a marathon before. Maybe they never ran that fast before, and just accomplish something that yeah, just getting out of your comfort zone. I don't know what the better word would be. It's like you're going places that you didn't even think were possible, and you're just stepping into it and owning it. So we had a full squad. The Airbnb was sick as well, and it's just everything. I think that's one lesson that I took away. It's not just the race. It's like the meal the night before, or all the jokes, or somebody jumping in the Normatec, or like how our Airbnb floor was trying to take us out because it was a little slippery, and or track down pizza afterwards. I'll do another podcast recap, and my goal is to do some podcast recaps with the squad, just so we can dive into details of the race. But overall, I hit a PR 3:10:53, and most of all, a life PR of just an insane experience with the dogs. And also, just like a little asterisk on that is, I did a pretty good job, and I need to, this is feedback for myself, but I need to do a little bit more of this, is just doing more like videos on Instagram. So I tried to had to keep track of everything and document our experience and put that on my Instagram story. And that's out of my comfort zone. I feel a little bit better recording this podcast, but just putting a selfie video was a good challenge for me of just documenting like true, authentic, just like dopamine and having a blast. So that's it. Eugene Marathon, check. Next marathon, we'll see. Maybe it's going to be Portland Marathon in October, but it's summertime, so time to get fitter. And next one was I traveled to Maui for my mom's retirement. So that was one of the biggest goals for me in April, was to be as present and as patient as possible so I could maximize my mom's experience of her retirement gift. So she taught high school for over 30 years. Same with my dad. And honestly, they don't really fly to go on vacation very often. So, and it was first time going on vacation with both of them in a really long time. So I'm super grateful that I was able to go out there with them. We hit Momona's Bakery, get some coffee. We drove to the top of the crater for a sunset, just walking on the beach, the simple stuff, asking them questions about life, getting amazing food, getting some sunshine, getting tan, and doing the Maui taper. So that was my joke. I kept calling it the Maui taper because it was the week prior to the marathon, and just getting fit out there and getting in some amazing time with my parents. So yeah, that trip was sick, and we got to hit some runs with James. Shout out to him if he's listening. He started his own podcast, which it's Unbreakables, I believe, and dude's killing it. Junior in high school, starting his own pod, already has video. This guy's getting after it, and one thing that I love to do is when you travel, you get to see the people who are there. So you get to see an old friend or say what's up to get fit and get 6 miles in the morning before I fly out. But yeah, the last two things were just my little extras. Is just my favorite album of April is The Lows by Mike. So just Mike period on Spotify. You can check it out. It's just bangers. He dropped 34 songs in the middle of April, and he's just one of my favorite artists right now. So been jamming out to his music. I'd recommend 6 a.m. or Backwoods. Those are two of my favorite songs. And then last but not least is just an awareness around holy shit moments. So something I've been thinking about is like, I said this to my buddies when we were running, or when we were getting ready to run the marathon, was we're going to remember this for the rest of our lives. Like, we're building out our life resume. So one thing I've asked myself is, how can I have more holy shit moments? How can I have those moments where, whether it's going to Maui with my parents or running a marathon with all my friends, but it's how can we have more moments in our life where we're going to remember this forever? Like, it's that incredible of an experience. And even tapping into Bill Perkins' Die with Zero, the memory dividend. So you get a little kickback from that experience by just reliving it and telling stories about the hill at mile 8, or like, oh, feeling dead at the end and dapping each other up. But yeah, it's just, how can we continue to do amazing things with the people who mean the most to us, and just keep having those like holy shit moments. Like, I'm going to remember this forever. So yeah, just a little bit of wisdom from April, and I'm ready to get after it. Summer weather is trickling into Portland. We got a sunny day today, and the vibes are high. We're riding that emotional wave from crushing the marathon with the squad, and we're about to have an amazing May. So thank you guys all for listening and tuning into the newsletter, the podcast, and just your support. I appreciate when people reach out, whether that's through email or DMs, just to remind me to keep going and keep stacking days. So you do the same. Keep stacking days and making every day the best day of the year. Until tomorrow.